What are we waiting for, buddy, don't you know? No, I don't quite remember what we're waiting for, Godot. When that fella gets here, well, maybe then we'll know what we all been waiting for.
Like his friend Bill Allen, William Wiley moved to Northern California from Richland, Washington in the 1950s, following Allen to the California School of Fine Arts, now called the San Francisco Art Institute. For Wiley, the California landscape has been an endlessly fascinating source of material for the last half-century. As he put it in an interview, quote, "Anything you look at carefully is very complex. There's no surface that isn't just crawling with information," end quote. Wiley's image featured here, Lame and Blind in Eden, a watercolor and felt-tip pen on paper drawing, lives up to that impression of complexity. In this wooded clearing, Wiley gives us an array of details that show how humankind can ruin the landscape. The stuff of human enterprise, the surveyor's tripod, the deflated life preserver, the hatchet, and the test tube, clog the middle ground and foreground of the picture and function as a barrier between the viewer and the natural environment that they occupy. With these tools of measurement, voyaging, division, and experimentation, Wiley shows us how humans have polluted their own space and obscured nature completely in the process. One cannot get a sense of the natural whole through all of these man-made parts.
So we sit here by the roadside. William Wiley. I'm working in Woodacre, California, part of West Marin. I've been in this studio since 1968.
So maybe you can talk about Lame and Blind in Eden.
Well, it's just, a flat-out environmental poster. I know there's a little folder in there that says AEC on it, the Atomic Energy Commission. And that refers to, in 47, 48, we moved from Indiana to Richland, Washington, or Hanford. Richland, along with Oak Ridge and New Mexico, was where the plutonium was processed for the atomic bomb. In fact, Richland's one of the most polluted places on the planet. And they have, in the fall Atomic Frontier Days, our school, the name of the team's the Bombers. Our emblem is the mushroom cloud. And mascot's a bomb.
Not anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised. My dad was a labor foreman, and they were pouring lots of cement for the reactors, and so I was just around it, and posters and all that stuff. And but that was the 50s, atoms for peace and atoms for good, and endless supply of energy and stuff. But it was also spooky around there because there was a military base, and occasionally they would go on full alert, and goofy kids with guns and stuff. It felt kind of dangerous, like you could get shot there if you weren't careful. And Hudson and I, one time, we lived in a trailer camp called North Richland, north of Richland, and out near the fence was the restricted zone. You couldn't go beyond this fence, and but there was some space between the trailer camp and the fence. And so one day we took our sketchbooks and stuff and hiked out. We weren't right on top of the fence. We were a couple hundred yards, I think, from it, but Columbia River down by the Columbia. And so we sat down there and we were doing sketches. And all of a sudden we were surrounded by military police and guns drawn and everything, and wanting to know who we were and what we were doing and wanting to see our stuff, and we had to back up. So just a lot of awareness of the environment and things kind of entered my mind at that point. Finally got into work. It seems so dire in some ways, and has seemed so dire since the mid-'60s, when I became, I think, more intensely aware of our engagement here on the planet and with each other, that it just seems like you have a chance, a forum to share some information. I don't like it to be didactic or preachy, but to try to get people to think about what's going on. It just seems like chance I can't pass up somehow.
Our boots will moan and sit around here by this tree in the moonlight with a piece of rope we found. It's what we'll do.